Today's video is sponsored by 12, featuring a dozen original and unexpected short stories about passion and legacy, and Dropping the Belt, an exciting writing experiment featuring 3 anonymous ghostwriters and 1 hilarious professional wrestling story. Check out these 2 new books from author David Farrell, available at Amazon now.
Welcome to Pod Me If You Can, I'm David Farrell. Today on the show, it is Love and Dancing, starring Tom Malloy, Amy Smart and Billy Zane.
Pardon me if you can. Movie reviews.
Jake Mitchell, Tom Malloy, is a deaf, former swing dance champion that now teaches dancing for a living. He meets Jessica, Amy Smart, at a school where he's discussing his disability, and she agrees to take some dance lessons with her husband, Kent, played by Billy Zane. Kent becomes too busy, but she keeps dancing with Jake. They have such a natural chemistry that they enter a professional competition together. So don't be deceived, there's a lot of dancing in the film, but actually on the cover she's wearing the same outfit, coloured slightly differently. So there's only one dance competition at the end of this film. Tom Malloy, who plays the lead character, also wrote and produced the film, and he is the kind of guy that spruiks this "you can do it" attitude. He has a whole website dedicated to the fact that you can get financing and make your own films. I also have a bit of a feeling that he wrote the IMDb description for this film as he describes his character Jake. He's got everything going for him: looks, personality and style. He's at the top of his game. Love and Dancing is a predictable kind of midday movie. It seems to be aimed at older women and dance fans. Pretty much the film focuses heavily on the world of swing dancing. Swing dancing is so popular in this world that when he goes to the school and demonstrates his disability, which is being deaf, he's able to do a massive swing dance demonstration for the kids, and they all get up out of their chairs and clap. While Jessica and Jake seem destined to be together from the moment they meet, the subplots basically involve Billy Zane's character Kent, who's her husband-to-be, and Corinne, who is Jake's former dance partner. Corinne is the most morally ambiguous character. Basically, back then, in 2002, when they were swing dance champions, she was cheating on him with this other guy. And now she wants to cheat on this other guy back with Jake, because he's so irresistible in this world. Billy Zane plays a massive jerk here. Not since Titanic have you been rooting so much against him. This feels like the kind of movie where Billy Zane is taking a paycheck, and obviously these are the kind of calls he's getting these days. He is portrayed as such a moron. There's a scene where he's watching Robot Chicken and losing it laughing. And Robot Chicken is 12 minutes long, but even during those 12 minutes he can't listen to anything else. He wants to ignore his fiancée-to-be, Jessica, even covering her mouth at one point while she's trying to talk to him. He mentions at one point that he makes $500,000 a year, and then shortly after mentions he makes $300,000 a year, so it's also possible that he's a liar. We have to sit and watch for an hour as she has no fun with Kent and lots of fun with Jake. If you like montages, then this is the film for you. I found the minor characters very frustrating. Betty White is in this film, and she basically got paid to be in one scene where she dances briefly, says 2 things, and is never seen again. Rachel Dratch plays the receptionist at the dance studio, and she has a kind of on-again, off-again relationship with a lesbian that works there. The lesbian, though, describes herself as liking men, being a lesbian but liking men because they're easier. At one point we meet a dancer called Matt, who introduces himself to everyone as Madison. None of these jokes really pay off. They're all just building a world that we don't really care about, and it makes me think that these people actually exist. And there's probably a guy called Matt who called himself Madison, and Tom Malloy knew him because he did dancing, and therefore he wrote him into the film. It feels like there's a lot of personal nods to jokes that the audience won't get. Now, Jessica is a teacher, and I want to focus on this one kid for a minute. Pretty much in her class, somebody asks her why she's so sad, and her offsider is one of the aunts from the original Sabrina. But at school, this kid says, "Why are you so sad?" basically so that we can have a scene later where the kids see how happy she is. However, when one of the kids says, "Wow, you're looking so much happier, Miss Donovan," he touches her arm in such a creepy way that I was like, who is this kid and what is this relationship that they have? This kid feels like he's hitting on the teacher at times, and really took me out of the film. In the big final dance scene, which is obviously what the whole film builds towards, as a deaf dancer, what he does is he turns off his hearing aids, and therefore he feels the vibration and, is able to dance and, win championships. But his sort of story is that he's not listening to his partner, played by Amy Smart, so he has to leave them on so he can hear. But if anybody knows him, and knows that he's deaf, and knows that he dances usually by turning them off, it's interesting because everyone in the crowd is actually yelling, "Come on, Jake, you can do it, Jake," and chanting his name and stuff. But at the time you'd think, if they knew who he was and they're chanting his name, so they do, they also know that he's deaf and that he turns off his earpieces while dancing. So they're chanting in vain. I've seen better Hallmark movies than this. It's very cheap, very slow. They have a bunch of gay jokes. Billy Zane gets hit on by a man. He and Rachel Dratch, who was previously a lesbian, both say that they're sick of women and get together. It's crazy. Also, I guess this could have been a lot better, which is where my disappointment stems from. At the end of the film, they have text come up that explains what happened to everybody. If you like swing dancing, or you like scenes of people dancing, then maybe this will float your boat. If you catch it in a midday time slot and you think to yourself, I'll give this a go, it's passable, it passes the time. But it's a fairly average film all around. There's nothing to grab you, and, you'd have to be a pretty big Billy Zane fan or Amy Smart fan to check this out. Or if you're curious about Tom Malloy, whether or not he's able to make a film, it's competent. I mean, it's directed by the director of She's All That, so it's competently made. It's just not extremely interesting, and I'm not the target demographic for this. Check out more obscure films. There are over 200 of them at our YouTube channel.
Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Check out our podcast at www.podmeifyoucan.com.